to start this class today with Vidyavardhaka College of Engineering. I hope we have a good mood, and for this class, I will introduce our lecturer today from Vidyavardhaka College of Engineering, Dr. Ramasri Nahed, as Associate Professor, Department of Computer Science, with topic cyber forensic process flow and its legal issue. Yeah. Before we start for this class today, I would love us to pray first according to your own religion and belief. So everyone, let's pray start together.
So, yeah, can I start or need to wait for a few times of time?
You can start for this class today, Prof. Hey, Doctor, thank you. Sure.
Yeah, can I start now? Can I share the screen?
No.
Yes, I'm going to share the screen. Will you able to see the screen, please?
Yes.
Will you? All right, yeah. Will you able to see the screen? Okay, all right. Will you able to see the screen, please? Can anybody say yes or no? Can I? Yeah. Will you able to see the screen? Anybody?
Yeah, it seems visible.
Yeah, all right, yeah. So thank you very much, first of all, for inviting me as part of your visiting lecture series. Before proceeding, let me give a little more information about myself. I basically a cybercrime invention officer, certified cybercrime invention officer, and I worked. I normally working on a lot of government projects, especially the police department and something related to the cyber security related one. I'm a cyber security specialist. My research area also into information security. I already, basically I'm consulting a lot of the private firms as well as the government, the consultancy services also. I basically works as an associate professor in the Department of Computer Science at BBC Mysore. See, my today's topic is cyber forensic process and cyber forensic process flow and its legal issues. See, let me talk about today before going to the cyber forensic. Let's touch upon what is actually a cyber forensic. What is the cyber security and what is the cyber forensic? What is actually how can you differentiate, or maybe how the cyber forensic can be a part of the cyber security? That let us see the little bit about it. Now we always everyone. Of course, these are the major discussions we supposed to do it today. One is introduction on cyber security as well as forensic. A need for cyber security and forensic, process flows in cyber forensic, legal issues, and finally we go with the case study. Very important one, because I have one case study which very recently we dealt with one of the government project on a cyber security related one. Maybe those case study I can just touch upon, because almost nearly 303-page document, that is a very, very long document, which we have submitted the report to the government of Karnataka. Very long report. So maybe some point I can touch upon when it comes to our case studies. Okay. Now let's talk about the first one. What is actually cyber security? We all always, the everyday, day-to-day life, whatever you touch upon, whatever you use it, we always use the, everything happens through an internet, right? It is something we'll call it as a cyberspace. Now, when I say cyberspace, it is a kind of, the lot of people like anonymous people, they are in the cyberspace. They will communicate together. They will do our transactions, right? A lot of other activities normally going to do it in the cyberspace. Now, since a lot of anonymous people, they are into a cyberspace, normally the cyber attacks happens very frequently, right? And as per the statistics says, it's a millions of cyber attacks will happen on maybe in worldwide. I'm talking about in yearly basis. whatever you take it, even if you come to a financial transaction, even if it comes to the social media, even if it comes to the just for stealing the information from some important informations, critical informations. So these, if you look into this, there is every space, every application, there is a problem with the cyber attack, right? If you say, as per the study says from last 2 to 3 years, there is an increase in the attack of ransomware threats, right? This happens everywhere throughout the worldwide, ransomware threats, right? Then 77%, of course, I just have a statistics for Indian companies and for the global companies also. I've just mentioned here in Indian companies. If you look into the global companies, more than 60% of the global companies are hit by the cyber threats during the festive seasons. Why is the festive seasons? Because during the festive season, a lot of people, they are trying to access online. They are trying to do a lot of transaction online, right? In by using the credit card or debit card, or maybe something like the internet banking. And apart from that, a lot of activities they are going to do it online during the festive seasons. More than 60 to 70% of cyber attacks normally happens, worldwide. I'm talking about during the festive seasons, and more 400% rise in the cyber crime against children in 2020. Can you believe it? This is the major, the worry for us. Not only in India, I'm talking about worldwide, everywhere. It is a, especially the cyber attacks, the cyber, I can say the attackers, they're targeting the children's. That is very, something unfortunate. Is a worrying factor. We are supposed to know how do you protect our children by against these cyber threats, cyber attacks. If you look into this, more than 400% rise. And say GoDaddy data breach exposes over 1 million WordPress customers. Yeah, 1 million word. Yes, you're recording it. Are you recording it? Can I continue, please?
You can continue.
All right, yeah. So see, GoDaddy is one of the, like the hosting website where everyone knows it. And data breach exposes over 1 million WordPress customers' data worldwide. Like this is something like a very worrying factor for us, because we being a customers, we normally going to give a lot of sensitive information over the, whenever the transaction happens. And believe, if you think of if these data are sensitive informations are leaked, what will happen, right? And in less than a year, like there is everywhere you can see, like, not only in India, I'm talking about worldwide, lots of, cyber crimes happens worldwide. Now, what is actually meaning of a cyber crime? Cyber crime is something about is a computer crime known by lots of names, including the cyber crime, e-crime, electronic crimes, all those things. You see, normally what happens, suppose if you don't, normally the offline, when the computers were not there, there's a lot of crime used to happen, right? There is a, theft, blackmailing, forgery, fraud, everything used to happen earlier, right? That was used to happen online. Now, when the systems are, computers are introduced long back, everything happens online, right? Even ordering the items from, the grocery items, the food items, whatever you take it, the transaction, everything you're going to do online. What happens? Most of the, the people, they are using an online. These kind of crimes are increasing day by day, right? Whatever used to happen offline, same kind of a crime is happening in online also. Theft can happen. Theft, how the theft will happen? Unauthorized people, they're trying to access your account, right? Or maybe try to access the network, network points we talk about. Through that, they can able to access some sensitive informations, right? These kind of a theft. Blackmailing will happen normally with the social media and many other areas. Forgery will happen, fraud. These are all things will happen over the internet. Even every day, most of the time, we people, we are also facing some issues related to cyber. We used to get some, there are few mails we normally get saying that please enter the information, your address, your all other details. If you, the unauthorized people, they're asking our details. Suppose if you enter those information, end of the day, you may be losing financially, and also the people may try to blackmail us. So these kind of activities, maybe crimes, is become a kind of very frequently now, very frequently to everyone. We like us, we are facing, everyone in the world, they normally facing these kind of issues. Now, let us move on to straight away our topic today. Very important one, very interesting one, cyber forensic. As I told you, cyber forensic is a part of our cyber security, right? Cyber security is something about we are providing a security to the cyberspace, right? When I say the cyberspace, we use an internet. Whatever you do, we use untrusted network. We'll call it as maybe an internet is an untrusted network where we don't have control over it. We don't have a control over it, right? Who's supposed to be there internet, who's supposed to be not there, right? We absolutely don't have a control over it. There are people, those who are unauthorized people, there are anonymous people, they are on internet, the cyberspace. Whenever you do a transaction, you need to provide a security for that. That is something we'll call it as cyber security, right? Providing a security to a cyberspace when you do some kind of a transaction, some kind of an activity. Now, cyber forensic is a very important part of our cyber security. So what is actually meaning of cyber forensic? As usual, like in the normal scenario, what this forensic is all about. Forensic something about, we talk about, analyzing some data, right? And finally, we come up with initially we'll go with an acquisition of the data, acquisition of the properties, whatever it is, any kind of a properties or maybe a tangible property, intangible properties, whatever is going to be, right? So we are going to acquire those things. Then we are going to analyze those, whatever the data or maybe tangible, intangible properties, what you have. Then finally, we have to prepare a report and submit to the legal office. That is the purpose of cyber forensic. See, we do a cyber forensic only for the legal purpose. It is not for somebody. There are many people. They straight away come and says that will you? That may be some personal issue, some problem. They will come and says that will you deal with the cyber security issues related to my personal issue, personal thing. We straight away says no. Reason is simple, because whenever we normally take the cases, we normally deal with the cyber issues, maybe a cyber crime investigation of the cyber crime related one, only if you have a filed in the government police office, government, like filed in the police station. We have to file the FIR. Only after the FIR is filed, then only we are going to handle these issues. Until then, we are not going to handle this cyber security issue at all. We are not going to investigate. We are not going to analyze these cyber data, because there is, unless we have the authorized, if the government is authorized to us to deal with those things, private data. Okay, otherwise we cannot do that, because the reason is simple, because something goes wrong in the later part, and the government of maybe the respective government will question us. Without our permission, how can we able to access the data, right? And finally, we are in a trouble. We being a cybercrime investigators, we are going to be in a trouble. So due to this, unless we have this FIR or maybe authorized by the respective government, we never deal with any cyber security related issues, cybercrime related issues. We will not deal with the cyber forensic process there. Very important. If somebody want to become a cybercrime specialist, so like cybercrime investigation officer, maybe a cyber forensic experts, remember one thing very important: only when you got a authorized letter from the respective government, or maybe FIR from if the FIR is filed in the police station or wherever it is, only then we can go further. You can start your process. Unless without that, please don't do that. Otherwise, end of the day, we are in a trouble, because these data are very sensitive. We just cannot access these data without the permission of respective government or respective authority. Very important. Okay, that you need to remember, that if somebody wants to become cyber forensic expert, because this is one of an area you have a lot of demand in the market. Maybe being an engineering student, you can think of to become cyber forensic expert. Very important, because the cyber crimes happens every day, increases rapidly every day, goes going up every day, right? So you have a lot of opportunity to part of this cyber forensic team, and you can deal with this. And in terms of money part also, maybe earning an income, you have a lot of opportunity. You can earn a lot of money when it comes to being a cyber forensic expert. You can become an independent consultant. You can, once you certified, there's a lot of agencies, including the government, they will invite you because they need help from you. You believe me or not, worldwide today, lot of cyber crimes, the cases are pending. They are not able to solve it. The respective government, they will unable to solve those, the cyber crime, the cases which is filed in the police station or maybe a respective authority. The reason is simple. There is a shortage of cyber crime specialist. Like I can say cyber forensic specialist, or maybe the person, the cyber crime consultant I'm talking about, right? Because there is a shortage of people. There is a shortage of skilled people, right? So somebody wants to become an ethical hacker. Somebody wants to become a cyber crime investigation officer. Somebody wants to become cyber forensic an expert, or maybe somebody wants to become cyber technical analyst. That is another very important position where you can look into technical analyst, where your responsibility to deal with only technical aspect of the cyber crime which is happening. For example, whenever the cyber crime happens, the main component which we have to seize is something like the CPU, the processors, what you have, the CPU, right? Hard disk, or maybe a mobile phone. Sometimes it's a CDs or DVDs, right? Maybe a pen drive or storage devices where the sensitive information normally going to be stored. Sometimes we need to analyze about the network also, because network is a very important point where cyber attacks normally happens. So we need to be very careful about it. So these are all components which normally talk about the technical, right? So being an engineering student, or maybe a professionals, you can think of become a technical analyst when it comes to cyber forensic also. It's a very important area what you can look into. Okay, as the statement says, cyber forensic is a branch of digital forensic science pertaining to a legal evidence found in the computers as well as digital media. It can be any digital media, right? Not only computers, any digital media. It can be a PDA, it can be a mobile phones, it can be a all the storage devices, or it can be a personal computers, laptops, servers, networks, whatever you take it. These are all part of our digital media, right? So we need to be the main purpose of cyber forensic is to analyze those. Whenever the cyber crime happens, we need to acquire those things, analyze it, and prepare a report and submit to the legal agencies. Who are the legal agencies? For example, a court, right? Every government, the local government, or maybe the central government, maybe a state government, the respective statutory bodies, right? They have the court, right? They normally deal with the legal issues. So we prepare a report and give it to the court for the legal issues. That is the purpose of cyber forensic expert, right? Now, as I mentioned here, the goal of a cyber forensic is to examine the digital media. It's very important in a forensically sound manner with the aim of identifying, preserving, recovering, analyzing, and preserving the facts and opinions about the information. Very important. You need to preserve the information sincerely, because there are many cases. What happens? This information, of course, just I'm going to show you end of this presentation, maybe almost to the end. During the case study, I'll show you one of the document, as I was talking about, almost 303 page, the report which you have prepared for one of the government, which they have taken help from us when it comes to the kind of the government examination related one. Okay, 303 pages report we have generated, and in that there are a lot of irregularities. You can see that a lot of irregularities. For example, when you storing the information in the storage media, for example, in the hard disk, those information are keep on changing very frequently. They used to change very frequently, right? Whenever the information are keep on changing, maybe a storage place location is keep on changing very frequently. Digital media, it creates a kind of ambiguity. That creates a kind of suspicious. Why did they change from one storage location to another storage location? Why do they want to do that? That may be a chances of because they want to alter the data, right? They want to something like manipulate the data, the existing data, whatever the data is, the original data, right? These cybercrime people, when it comes to cyber forensic, we normally mainly deal with the data which they are going to the manipulating the data, right? That is our main responsibility. We are supposed to know, is this particular data are manipulated or these data are original or not? How do you know that? We have different tools for that. We will discuss. Maybe I'll just quickly going through those tools also. Just wait for 2 minutes. Somebody put chat box visible. Okay, all right. All right. Now, we will talk about in the later part of it. And during the case study also, I'll just explain you how this case study we're normally going to do it. How to prepare the report also, maybe if the time permits. Yeah. Now, cyber forensic, normally we are going to do it in 3 categories. Okay, because this all depends upon the digital media. We talk about digital media. One is the computers. Computers, it can be a laptop, it can be a personal computers, it can be a workstations, it can be a servers. All this comes into picture here. Computer forensic. Computer forensic normally consists of computers, your laptop, your servers, right? Workstations, whatever you take it, even including PDS also. Okay, these are all become a part of this computer forensic. And the second category, we talk about mobile forensic. Mobile forensic, I'll tell you, this is one of the toughest tasks we normally deal with. Computer forensic is quite easy because these systems are placing in one place, is not moving, right? Not moving, and very tough to it may not become easy to manipulate some data. I'll tell you why it is, okay? Maybe a later part of it. But when it comes to mobile forensic, one of the toughest one we normally deal with. Reason is these mobiles are always what? This is something like a mobile device, right? Keep on moving from one place to another place. It is not going to be placed in one place. Because of these things, moving characteristics of this mobile, right? Normally we deal with it's become very difficult for us to tracing the location, and also the data quickly changes, quickly alters. Sometimes the time, sometimes the location, these are all quickly changes, right? Because of that, it is become very difficult for us to get the login details and other things also when you do a real-time scenario. I'll just explain you how this is going to be in the later part of it, why this mobile forensic is difficult compared to the computer forensic. I'll just explain in the later part of it. Now, another very important one, which we normally talk about, is the network forensic. See, network forensic is some of thing which, again, it may not be very difficult like mobile forensic. Maybe if you are become expert in the cyber forensic, the network forensic has also become a part of this. So you need to acquire, you need to analyze, you need to report on the network also. There may be some multiple network points everywhere, right? Maybe a different servers exist in a different places, and the network, it can be any kind of a network we talk about. Develop different the network points you have it, right? So we normally deal with forensic on a network. Very important one. Okay. Now let's straight away move on to the our topic today: need for the forensic investigator. Why do you want to need for the cyber forensic investigator? As I was talking about, worldwide, lots of the cyber crimes are happening day by day. It's going up like anything, going up like anything, including even for the village, the people are getting caught. People are getting involved into cyber forensic. There are many agriculture people, unfortunately, they are also become a victim of this cyber forensic because they naturally they don't know about something about this, like internet or maybe usage of computers or whatever it is, right? Their respective, maybe whenever they want to deal with in a cyberspace, they don't know technically, right? They know how to do it. They know the process, that's it. When they're involved into a process, when you do some particular activity, they don't know what they're supposed to do. And end of the day, they may be a victim of cyber forensic, cyber attack, right? That is why including, like the farmers I'm talking about. Farmers, it can be industrialists, it can be a students category. They are the people, or maybe a children is the major target for the cyber attack, I'll tell you. Children's, because they never bother about, they normally they don't know what is actually happening in the cyberspace. Only thing is they know that there is an internet, there is a system, or it can be a mobile phone, right? There is there are many children, like they are using social medias, and in the social media, what they're supposed to put, what not to put it, the people are supposed to know, right? And if you look into the social media, in the Facebook and Twitter, all those things, there are many people, they are going to put their sensitive information. I normally, when I go with when I go for a talk, or maybe when I go with the training and all, I normally suggest everyone, please don't give her sensitive information in the social media. It's very, very dangerous. For example, your mobile number, right? It can be your date of birth, or it can be your passport number, right? It can be your UID, okay, UID, and it can be your personal identity cards, or maybe some sensitive photos, okay, some sensitive photos. These kind of things, never put it to a social media. Otherwise, end of the day, it is a problem for you. Reason is, the people will misuse this sensitive information. Can you just wait for 2 minutes, please? Battery is running low. Just 2 minutes, please wait, okay? Please wait. Please wait, system is running low. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm back. So there was a, okay. Yeah, need for the cyber forensic investigator, which I was talking about. See, examination of a computer by technically inexperienced person will almost always result in rendering any evidence found inadmissible in a court of law. What does it mean? When you take your report, when you submit your report to the court of law, they actually look for a technical report. Technically, this technical report can be prepared only by the technical competent person, because inexperienced person, technically incompetent person, okay, they cannot able to prepare the document as per the law, because the cyber forensic law is almost similar most of the countries, but of course there are few areas that maybe a cyber laws maybe keep on changes. We being a cyber forensic and expert, while preparing a report, we supposed to know the law also, cyber security law also is supposed to know. We need to understand that. Without knowing the cyber security law, you cannot become a cyber forensic and expert. Of course, the reporting can be done with maybe in collaborate with the lawyer, those who are like the person who knows law, right? We can collaborate with them, but end of the day, we being a cyber forensic and expert, we need to aware of what are the basic laws for the cyber security. Because based on those laws, we normally deal with all the investigation. We normally prepare, we normally go with analysis. We normally prepare the report. Right? It's a very important one. We talk about the legal issues in the later part, because the cyber security laws, policies, every country will have a different policies. It is not similar to, or it is not a uniform everywhere. For example, in India, we have a different cyber security law. In your country, maybe you're having a different cyber security law policies. Maybe other countries, they might be having a different policies. So maybe some part they may be changing. So being a technical person, maybe a cyber forensic and investigator, you're supposed to aware of these basic laws are very important. Then only you can able to prepare a report and you can able to submit to the court of law. They are the people they look into that. They are the people normally they are going to decide. I'll tell you one thing. If enough cyber forensic experts, investigators are present in the world, if available, these cases which are there can be resolved within 24 hours. Within 24 hours. You know why? Because once the evidence is collected, even collecting an evidence also become easy when it comes to cyber security. Okay, when it comes to cyberspace. You know why? Because everything happens. Remains the system, right? So in terms maybe in a storage space, or it can be in a network, or it can be something like a digital media. So getting the proof, maybe an evidence, is easier than physically involved crime. That is why investigation is much faster when it comes to cybercrime investigation, and can be finished within 24 hours to 48 hours. That is possible. That is happened because there are few critical cases. You must be aware of it. There are the people those who are done the crime in the bank, especially stealing the money from the customer account. They have done a lot of those things. They resolve it within 48 hours or 72 hours. They can able to resolve it immediately because the data are readily available in the digital media. But only thing is, should be done with this all thing should be done with the forensic investigator. Without the forensic investigator, you cannot able to carry out these issues because we need somebody technically equipped, somebody who knows cyber laws as well as technical things also. We require. Then only you can able to do it much faster. Okay, that is a need for the cyber forensic investigator. Now let us move on to our key area, like how to investigate cybercrime. Very important one. We normally when I get a call from the people, especially for the government people, they will say you have to investigate. There is a cybercrime happened in this particular place. These are the things happened. Please come and investigate it. We'll give you. They will say that. If they just call us and if they tell us, we will not do. We will not do because we need an information from the authorized person. And even if the authorized person calls orally, saying that please carry out an activity, we will not do orally. We want everything should be in a written communication only. Okay, either it should be communicated through the respective government mail ID. We have to get an email from the government mail ID itself. Even for the government mail ID also, there may be a chances of changing the different servers very frequently. Okay, I just tell you that one of the case study what you have done. Again, it is a fraud actually what they have carried out. There is an email which I have received from the government, even if it is the government email ID, government domain mail ID. We received the mail ID from the unauthorized server actually, through unauthorized server. It has happened there actually that mail ID was hacked. The email which we received, not from the authorized person. How will you understand? How will you analyze those things before carrying out any investigation? First of all, we're supposed to know whatever the communication we have received is it from the right person or not? If it is not received from the right person, we should not take the investigation process. We have to ignore it because even if you received oral communication from the right person, we should not do the investigation. Need to remember, very important. We need the communication from the right person legally, and also written communication we require, either through a letter or maybe either through an email from the right person, from the government server only. Again, we need to find out, we can analyze where this particular mail has come. We can analyze those things because we have many tools for that. If it is going through an unauthorized server and if you receive it, that also can able to analyze it because we have a tool, because we can able to make out, through which server we have received, maybe who actually sent a email. That may be a, impersonation. That impersonation may happen, right? Instead of maybe they will act as, the falsely they will claim as a government agencies, maybe authorized person, maybe a right person, falsely claim. That is something we'll call as the impersonation, right? These are all things normally happens. So we try to deal with those things. So very important actually. Okay. Let us move on to this particular process. I don't know, will you able to see this, flow diagram, flow chart? Will you able to see this, guys? Is it, because looks, yeah. Okay, maybe I can share this particular slides later also. I've taken this is one flow chart from one of the author. I forgot to mention it here, but is one of this author has, we actually done together, and we have come up with this flow chart through the other author is also involved here. So here the cyber forensic, I can say process flow of electric evidence scheme, the crime. Okay, whenever the electronic crime happens, how do you deal with it? That's what normally call it the process flow. If you look into this is the, I can say flow chart, which will have a case number. We need to mention the case number, site, the location which you talk about, room number, date, and the time. These informations are very important here. Then we normally start, then if you look into the flow chart, you can able to see verify, okay, verify the, search warrant. What is the search warrant? Whenever these cyber crimes are happened, they normally file the complaint in the respective government agencies. Either it can be a police station, or normally going to the police station, cyber crime police station, right? We have a, every country, every state will have a separate cyber, the section for the cyber crime section, right? Cyber crime investigation, that we have a separate section for that. So cyber crime police, normally what happens, we are going to complain this whenever the crimes happen through online. Normally happens online everywhere, most of the countries, right? Nowadays, nobody is going to deal with offline. Everything, because we have a cyber crime website, whenever cyber crime happens, go to the website, just complain it, right? This is a cyber crime happened, please investigate, these are the things happened. You are going to file the complaint in that. Once the complaint is filed, FIR is going to be get registered, right? Very important. FIR should be get registered. Once the FIR should get registered, without FIR registration, you should not proceed further, remember. Okay? Once the FIR is get registered, then the police people, or maybe whoever is the investigation officer, okay, or maybe whoever is the government agency, the right person, they are going to in turn give us a responsibility as a cyber forensic and expert to deal with, to investigate, to collect an evidence in this particular crime scene. Okay, so here initially what you're supposed to verify the search warrant. If this search warrant is legally or illegal. Legal in the sense, the search warrant is received directly from the court, or it can be from the police station, or it normally from the police station, cyber police, right? They are going to issue the warrant, search warrant. If it is, once we received it, then we have to go with what is supposed to do. We have to go with the we'll call it as, maybe once you search it, we have to go with this electronic media. We have to search for the electronic media, right? Just wait for 2 minutes. Just wait for 2 minutes, guys. Just wait. I'll be back. 2 minutes. Okay. Sorry, I'm back. Okay. Some technical issues, so I was unable to move the slide. That's why. Now it's fine. Will you able to see those? See this now?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So we were talking about here in this slide, right? Here we talk about what happens once the search warrant is received. We have to go with this suspicious around. We need to find out, is it suspicious around? If it is yes, then what is supposed to do? You have to go with the further process, right? If it is no, you can take a photograph of it and you can preserve the evidence. Okay. If you feel like there is no suspicious event happening in that particular location, that particular system, if you feel like no, then take a photograph of it and you can maintain the document. You can take a photograph. If you feel like, yes, there is some suspicious events are happening, then what is supposed to do? You have to go further. Okay. Take the photograph. Then you need to go with the relevant PC. Which PC? The cybercrime normally happened. Okay. For example, in some PC in a system, maybe in the okay, some PC in the office itself is get affected, maybe through that PC itself, some the crimes are happened, then you need to go with the relevant PC found. You are searching for the computers, right? The digital media. If the relevant PC is found, then what you're supposed to do? You have to skip the what is that? We'll call it the desktop process. In the sense, desktop process is something about searching the systems. Which system you normally that crimes are happening, right? If no, then what you can do? If the relevant PC is not found, then you need to go with the desktop process, right? This is where it happens here. Then you need to suppose no information is found in the computers, personal computers. Okay, even in the personal computers also we have a primary memory, right? It can be a secondary memory. It can be we'll call it as the secondary memory. It can be a hard disk. Primary memory, it can be a cache or it can be a RAM or ROM, whatever we'll call it as, right? What happens whenever you are, identifying the system, make sure that whoever is the operator there, make sure that don't switch off the system immediately. There are few cases happens, like it has happened for us also. Whenever the crime happened, when you went to the system, when you try to, acquire the system, immediately they will remove the, plug from the plug and they will switch off immediately. They will not follow the proper process. What happens if you switch off the systems immediately, the temporary content which is there in the, the temporary memory, they might be lost. For example, the content of the cache, maybe the register contains whatever you have, the contents in the temporary memory, right? That even in the content in the temporary memory also plays a major role, I'll tell you, whenever the crimes are happening. That is happening real time data we want it, right? Those real-time data sometime may be going to be stored in the temporary memory. Suppose if you switch off your CPU, the content of the temporary memory will go, right? We are not going to get it that. So we have to make sure that whenever the crime happened, especially I'm talking about real time when I'm talking about, system should not be turned off immediately, should not be. Okay. So make sure that system is on until our investigation is finished. Because we need a data, the temporary data also. That is also plays a major role. With that, we can able to identify many things. It gives a lot of information. That is why. Okay. Suppose nothing is available in the computers, nothing is happened, crime happened in the computers. Then you need to look for the data in the storage media. What are the storage media? The storage media, it can be a PCA, maybe a PDA, or it can be suppose nothing happened in the computers. Maybe other electronic devices, you can look into it. For example, it has happened to a PDA, or maybe it can be a cell phone. Crime may happen through cell phone also. We take one scenario where maybe a financial transaction, fraud transaction happened. Somebody from some countries, they will call and they will ask for the OTP, right? This is naturally, many times it happens very frequently, especially in a rural people. They don't know technically what the attackers, what they will do. They will call them saying that we are calling from this particular bank. Please give your OTP. Please give your UID. Please give your password. There are all those things they will ask. They claim that we are from the bank. We are from the bank. But to the poor people in the local, like the village people, they don't know anything about technical things. And they will believe. Simply, they will believe. They think that somebody from the bank they have called. I have to give a sensitive information. For example, the password, something like the UID, maybe a ATM card number. These numbers, all those things, they are going to give it to them. If they give, within a second, money will be withdrawn from the attackers, fraudsters. They will withdraw it, right? Whenever these things happens, normally it will happen through mobile. It may not happen through a system, right? So initially we'll start with a system PC. Nothing happened through a PC. Then we'll go with the other electronic media where the PDAs or maybe mobiles. Through that the crimes have happened. Now, if you feel like it happens through this mobile, okay, yes, it is happened through a mobile. Then you are going to search for, you're going to search for other process. Okay, other process will keep on continuing it. For example, in the system, if you found here, then you are going to note down all those informations. Okay, what is the number of the computers? What is the size of the computer? These all information you are going to record it here. If you look into this, okay, number of computers as well as the size and all those information you need to record here when it comes to computers. When it comes to mobile phone and other devices like a PDA, again, we have to note down number of PDSs are involved, number of mobile phones are involved here, and again, what is the size of it, and all those information we are going to note it down. Very important information. Then suppose if it's nothing happened in the mobile phone, what is the remaining one? It may happen in the storage devices. Storage devices like CDs, DVDs, maybe external hard disk. Another, like most of the time is going to be an external hard disk where they're going to store the data. These are all fraudster. They normally store the data in external hard disks, CDs, DVDs, and everywhere, right? They want to store those data. So you can check with these things, CD, DVDs, and hard disk, whatever it is. Yes, if it is available here, then you need to note down the number of, whatever the devices you are going to use it, what is the size of it, CDs, DVDs, and if it is an external hard disk, what is supposed to be carried out, right? What is supposed to be carried out? These are all things we need to, okay? All those things we need to deal with this, right? So, DVDs and, it can be a pen drive, whatever, all the information you need to note it down, okay? So, apart from this, suppose it's nothing available in the storage devices. Now, you need to go with the other evidences. Other evidences, it can be in terms of physically available evidences also. Okay, you have to go with other evidences, which through that, again, the complete process we have to follow it. Whatever the information required, we need to complete, once these evidences you have recorded, for example, some report or maybe some papers, it may you may get it in the physically in somebody's bag or maybe somebody's other places. Physically, I'm talking about. It is a kind of open evidences which may be available. Okay, apart from this digital media. So digital media is done. Digital media is a PC. It can be a mobile phone or a PDA, or it can be something related to storage devices like a CD, DVD. It can be a external hard disk. It can be a pen drive, flash drives, all those things, right? All those areas which you normally deals with. Whenever these evidences are not found here, then you need to go with the physically available evidences. For example, some of the papers. See, when I was talking about one of the case study, which I'm going to show you, in that case study, there are few evidences we are unable to get it in the digital media. What we have done, we have collected these evidences physically in terms of the papers, and we have tallied, or maybe we have, incorporated those things in the report, right? The report or maybe physically which is available, the evidence, also very important here, because it gives a lot of information for us. It may be related to a digital information also. It actually shows us, even if you, for example, your storage devices are the password protected, okay, you will not be able to open it. Then you supposed to have a tool, tool to open that the storage devices. In the sense, you need to the password detector you're supposed to have, right? You need to know the password. How will you know it? We have a separate tool for that also. Electronic tools, we have it, right? Software tools. We have software tools for defining the password also, recovering the password also. Very important for us. Okay. Then, and these are the important things you're supposed to do it. And finally, you're supposed to know that never take advice from the owner, user, and the suspect. Very important, right? In a real time, what happens most of the cases, suppose some crime happened in the system. Okay. The person using that particular system, user, they're trying to, disturb you, trying to change, or maybe trying to interrupt in between whenever doing some process purposefully, because they want to make sure that you should know, the investigation should not happen in a proper way. Because those people are involved into a crime, they are trying to change, the way you do. They're trying to disturb you. They're trying to interrupt in between, right? And never ever take an advice from the owner, or maybe from the user, or maybe from the suspect. If you feel like this person is a suspect, don't take any advice from him. You take only, you have to do only investigation. You ask many questions, what has happened, why it has happened, like something like something, you need to extract an information, right? You have to frame those questions. Even for the framing the question also is very important here as being a, a cyber forensic investigator. Because along with the what investigation you are going to do in the digital media, there are few times we need to interact with the people also, right? It's also very important. So never ever take an advice from the owner or maybe a suspect. Then refer all what is that, questions to the investigation in charge officer. This is very important here. Okay, investigation in charge officer is responsible to frame a questions and ask to our respective people. It's very important here. Okay, then never leave the evidence unattended is very important. Unattended, it should not be, see, any evidence, it may be a very the small evidence, or I can say minor evidence, it can be very minor evidence, should not be unattended. Okay, it should be attended, because it's very important. Even a small, the minor evidence can give you a clue where this attack happens, why this attack happens, who has done it, even for the minor the evidence. So including the minor as well as major evidence, everything should be attended, is very, very important. Should not leave anything to be unattended. Very important. That you need to remember here. Now, if you look into in computers, what you're supposed to be doing, similar to that, we start with the computers here. Then similar process, what you have done in the previous case, something related to the computers here. You have to note down all the information. For example, case, site, room number, all those things you are going to record it, right? Then type up an item. Either it's a CD or a DVD, or it can be a, the other devices like a pen drive, flash drive, so external hard disk. It can be a temporary memory, whatever it is, you're going to record it here. Type of item. It's very important. Then you have to move on to the information you have to write the information. You have to label the information. Label the particular one. For example, DVD. Okay. You got an information through DVD. Then what you're supposed to do on DVD, you have to label it. Because most of the time what happens when the investigation is happening, suppose if you have more than 20 or 30 or maybe 100 DVDs, okay, 100 DVDs, it is not possible to label it on the spot. It is not possible to label it on the spot because you don't have a time to label it on the spot. Instead of that, what you can do, just as a mark, you can mark it, this particular DVD, you just mark it, and you're supposed to know what is the meaning of that particular mark. And later, you can label it. The particular DVD or CD, you can label it. Okay. Then place found, which place you have, the particular, the DVD or maybe the particular digital media found, you need to record it here. Okay. For example, it's inside an office, in a particular place, write it inside an office in this particular place, all those address, everything you're supposed to write it down. It's very important, including your, the IP address also. Including an IP address also, you must have to record it. Very important. Otherwise, because once you record an IP address, but every system will have their own IP addresses, right? We'll have a unique IP address. So that unique number, the system's unique number, that everything should have to note it down. It's very important. That is the reason why, while writing all those information, you need to be a technically competent person. If the technically incompetent person may not be aware of these informations. That is why, if you want to become a, like a cyber forensic expert, you should be a technically competent. You're supposed to know in and out of all the computers. Okay, how to extract an IP address, how to extract a unique identification number of this every system will have, right? Then all other things you're supposed to record it. It's very important. And if you look into the process in a computer hard disk, what will happen here? If you earlier, what earlier used to see is the CD, DVD, all those things. Now a computer hard disk, again, imagine is inside the computer, or it can be external hard disk. It can be, okay. You can go with the similar process here. Then you need to record it, computer information. For example, record and label. Number of PCs. Okay, example, PC number. The PCs are numbered, right? Everywhere PCs are numbered. For example, you have 100 PCs in an office. Every PCs are numbered here. PC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. So you can just number it and you can write down, this is the PC that cybercrime normally happened here. Very important. These recording the informations are very important because these gives us evidence. We are going to collect this evidence, and this evidence is very much important to prepare a report. Because while preparing a report, we need very much required these technical informations. Because based on this technical information, we are going to prepare a report and submit to the court of law. Because even in the court of law, I'll discuss about legal issues because there are many lawyers, including the judges. They are very poor in technical related issues. I'll tell you, many lawyers, including the judges, they are never bothered. They're aware of it. So this is one of the things. So just wait for 2 minutes, guys. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm back. I'm sorry for between some. Okay, now I was talking about while preparing a report, you need to have a lot of technical steps. These technical steps, for example, in a computer hard disk, okay, some data we need to recover. We need to collect an evidence which is there in the computer hard disk. There is a particular process need to be followed here. Okay, if you have a particular process, then everything's going to be in a systematic manner, right? So technical information are going to be collected. For example, if you look into this disk serial number, because every disk have a serial number, right? Then disk manufacturer, who is the manufacturer of the disk, that you need to be recorded here. Then we need to apply, bias date, bias time, actual date, actual time, everything you need to be recorded. Because this actually gives us when this crime happened, how do you catch these people, those who are attacked? Because this actual time of the crime is very important to investigate. Okay, that is why these bias data, bias time, actual date, everything need to be recorded. Okay, there are a few times what happens, your bias date and your system time, the time may not match because that normally happens, right? We have to make sure that these both dates are matching, everything is fine. Everything, we need to understand those things. It's very important here. So this is about when you talk about the computer hard disk. Okay. Again, apart from that, the other information like the the evidence bag number, or maybe a the seizure is done by who actually done the seizing. For example, some the data you got it from the computer hard disk. The investigation officer is supposed to go and seize it, right? Who actually done the seizing? That authorized person supposed to seize it. The complete data need to be mentioned here. And seizure witnessed also. The witness also very important here. Whenever the seizing is happening, somebody have to witness it. Maybe some the colleague of maybe co-investigation officer that might be, because normally whenever the cyber crime happens, you have two investigation officers. One is the main investigation officer, another person is going to be a co-investigation officer, right? So these both supposed to be involved here. The main investigation officer is the person who sees the evidence. Co-investigation officer normally assisting, even they also put a witness, because end of the day when you go to a court, okay, court, so these people have to answer it. Very important. Who actually seized, right? That is very important here. Those things. So this is about the computer hard disk. Again, when it comes to cell phone, it's very interesting. When I was talking about when you compare the computer forensic and cell phone forensic are totally different. Computer forensic is become easy for us because most of the time computer never moves. It may remain in one place, especially personal computers. Maybe in the laptop may move from one place to another place, but may not be very frequent. So the computer forensic is compared to the cell phone is become quite easy for us. But when it comes to mobile forensic, we are always facing an issue. Why? The reason is our mobile is keep on moving everywhere. The name itself indicates a mobile phone, keep on moving everywhere. The location information keep on changes everywhere, right? The person may be today here, tomorrow, maybe some other, sorry, person maybe in tomorrow some other country, right? May not be in the same country, maybe some other country, totally together. So what happens? The information, the location information keep on changing very frequently, right? That is why whenever you are collecting an evidence in the cell phone is much tougher than the computer when you're collecting an evidence in the computers. Okay, because the log information, what you're going to get it in the computers, or sorry, in the cell phone is keep on varying every time because of the moving, right? So we need to record every move. Every time we need to record it. Very frequently we need to record it. Very important. Okay. So when it comes to mobile forensic, or maybe I can say seizing PDA as well as cell phone, here what is supposed to do, some of the information like serial number of the mobile phone, or it can be a smartphone, what kind of a phone it is. Normally it is going to be a smartphone. Most of the time the crimes are happening through smartphone, not from the normal phone, right? So every phone will have their own serial number and the unique number will be there, right? Those things you need to be recorded here. The password, most of the time, the mobile phones are, whenever you seized it, are password protected, right? It can be those phones are protected by either it is a password, many other way we can able to protect it. Fingerprint, maybe a face recognition. There are many other ways, right? So those information you need to record here. Suppose, normally what happens when you seize the mobile phone, you will not be aware of the password, right? The person who done the crime, he never gives the password to you. If they give, definitely they will not give. See, being an investigation officer, with the help of a tool, we need to find out what is the password you need to recover it. It's very important. Okay. Suppose if it is done by the face recognition or some kind of the fingerprint recognition, all those things, we have a tool for it to recover those things. Okay, those information need to be recorded here because this information also we have to put it in the report, because these reports are again confidential report. It should not be leaked to anyone. It should be provided to only the court of law and the authorized person. Only those people will be aware of it, right? These confidential information need to be noted down here, a password or it can be a PIN, whatever it is. Then owner of the person, the owner or maybe of the particular mobile phone or maybe a cell phone need to be recorded. Owner ID should be recorded. Owner ID in the sense maybe some UIDs. It can be a Aadhaar number. It can whatever other IDs. The owner IDs can be recorded here. So these information need to be recorded here. Very important. Okay. And you have to prepare the evidence. Once evidence is prepared, then seized by and seized witnessed by. These all information need to be recorded here. Now, what we have discussed here, I put it in a summarized manner. That was the flow chart, right? I have put it in the summarized here. There are key steps. There are a number of key steps are involved in a forensic investigation. Is initially go with the identify the computer crime. You need to identify the kind of a crime here. Either it is a computer crime, the crime happened in the computer, or it can be happened in the PDA, or it can be a cell phone, or it is happened, the crime happened through a network. The crime may happen through a network also, right? So those things you need to identify, or it can be crime happened not in the digital media. It may happen in some other place. So those information, first of all, you need to aware of it. You have to make sure, you have to analyze those things. Very important here. Make sure that it's a computer crime or maybe something else. Okay. Identify the computer crime here is very important. Also, I told you, whenever the crime happened in a real time, make sure that user should not shut down the system immediately. If the user is shut down the system immediately, the temporary data, we are going to lose it. The temporary data will give you a lot of information for us. Very important. A lot of data, because it actually gives very important clue for us. How will they communicating with other people, like including the IP address and other things information, like log information, everything you're going to get it here. So this temporary data, when you switch off the system, temporary data you're going to miss out. That is why you have to make sure that system should not be made off immediately. It should not be shut down immediately. Okay. There are few people, what they will do to to disturb you, or maybe suddenly they're playing like a something, like they remove the plug immediately and they'll shut down it. Should not happen like that. You have to avoid those things. Very important. And the second step is collecting the preliminary evidence. Preliminary evidence are very important. This is actually done by the investigation officer. Whenever the crime happened, Initially, you identify the system. Yeah, this particular computer system, there is a crime happened. Then preliminary evidence need to be collected. For example, hard disk, you are going to collect it. You're going to collect, the maybe whatever the storage devices, what you have, or maybe a system, or maybe something else. For example, a cell phone, maybe a PDA or something else. You need to collect those, preliminary evidence. It's very important here. Then finally, obtain, the third step is obtain a court warrant for a seizure. Very important for seizing any evidences. You're supposed to have a warrant from the court. Without the warrant from the court, you cannot able to seize the evidences. You cannot do that. Court should have to give a warrant for that. You have to check for the warrant. Then the fourth step is perform first responder procedure. Is very important. Okay. There is always first responder. You wait for 2 minutes, guys. Yeah, sorry for that. Okay. So what happens? Any questions you have it? Any questions, please? Anybody having any questions in this? Am I audible? Can anybody confirm yes or no? Am I audible? Can anybody say yes or no? Am I audible, guys? Please, what is the question, please? Rajeshwari, will you ask? Yeah. Will you ask the question in the end? I'll just, once it's done, presentation is done. Is it okay, Rajeshwari? I'll finish up some of the things stops now, what I want to say. Then finally, you can ask the question. I'll just answer it. Okay. Yeah, sure. Now, some of the, the first step, what we talk about is from the first responder procedure is very important here. The first responder procedure is very important because when the crime happens, these first responders, they are the people, they are going to a crime place. They are going to collect the evidence because initial evidence are very important. Preliminary evidence are very important here. If something is missing in the preliminary evidence, you cannot able to write a report properly. Maybe you cannot able to solve the crime properly because that preliminary evidence, collecting the preliminary evidence become a major role here. That gives us a lot of, the clue for us. Okay. Then seize the evidence at the crime scene is very important. You have to seize the evidence. Then transport evidence to the forensic laboratory is very important here. Many times what happens when you're transporting these evidences to the forensic laboratory, purposefully there are few people, they are trying to hack this, or maybe they're trying to steal the devices. For example, these are hard disk. You see the hard disk in the back. Physically, somebody can steal this, right? Somebody can do a damage, right? Hard disk. If you damage happened, it's very difficult for us to recover complete data. Of course, you can recover some information up to a certain extent, but you cannot recover the complete data, right? It's not possible. So that is why you have to make sure that whenever you're carrying a storage devices, it can be a hard disk, it can be a DVD, or it can be a CD, flash disk, whatever it is, maybe a pen drive. Make sure that should be seized properly, should be carried with care. With care. Should be, you have to transport these evidences to the forensic laboratory with a good condition, without any damage. It's very important here. Then create a 2-bit, stream copies of the evidence. This is, you're supposed to have 2 copies. Why it is 2 copies? Suppose one copy is, maybe, in the system normally, sometime we are, by accidentally, some copies will get erased. By accidentally. Okay. Sometime, you are doing something without your knowledge, by accidentally, those copy may deleted, some information may be deleted, some critical information, some data may be deleted, may be lost, right? Due to that, what you're supposed to have, you have to create 2 copies. Suppose like a backup. If one copy is some data is lost, at least you can take it from the other copy for the safety purpose. Okay, that's very important. So create a 2-bit stream copies of the evidence is very important. Then generate a MDS checksum on an images is because to secure it, because unauthorized people should not use those things. Is very important. Step number 8. Then we are go to the step number 9. Maintain the chain of custody is very important. Chain of custody in the sense, whenever you are collected an evidence should be kept in a proper place and with a systematic manner, because should be in a proper order. Should be in a proper order, because if you're not able to put in a proper order, what happens? Evidence may mixed up. You know how the evidence, because whenever preparing a report, it should be in a systematic order, one after the other, systematic order, right? So what happens if you maintain those evidences in a systematic order, the chain of custody, then it is easy for us to prepare a report. Technically, you can prepare a report and submit to the court of law. It's very important. Then store the original evidence in the secure location is very important. Nobody should alter the data. Nobody should damage the the component which have seized. Nobody should damage it. Then analyze the image copy. The 11th one, analyze the image copy for evidence. Very important. Okay. Image copy, whatever you have it, please, you have to analyze only image copy, because something, they missed out, some data are lost, erased, you will have an original copy. So you have to, all this investigation, all the analysis, everything you're supposed to do it on image copy. Very important, you're supposed to understand. Then prepare a forensic report is another one. Once all the evidences, once everything's you got it, finally what you're supposed to do, you have to prepare a forensic report. This forensic report should be as per the law. It is not like you're preparing a report as something, something like that. It is not like that. Well, while preparing a report, you're supposed to aware of the cyber law also. Whatever the evidences you have collected, as per the cyber law, as per the systematic manner, there is a particular format, you have to prepare it. Very important. I'll just show you one of the, the document which I prepared very recently, 2021. This crime happened in the particular government. I don't want to name which government is. So I have some one copy. Just go through it once quickly so that you will know how the report are going to be generated. Okay. So we need to have you have to prepare the forensic report and submit to the court of next one. Submit the report to the client. Okay. If it is the government agency, submit to the government people. In turn, they are going to submit to the law, submit to the court of law. Being an investigation officer, being an investigation forensic and expert, you are not directly submitting it to a court of law. You are not going to submit. You are actually giving the report. Whenever the report is generated, give it to the client. Client may be whoever may be a client. It can be a government people. It can be a private people, the private agencies, whoever it is. You are going to submit to them. And in turn, those people, they are going to submit the report to the court of law. Okay. If required, attend the court and testify as an expert witness. If required, if the court says, yes, whoever is prepared the report, we want to talk to them. We want them to be here. If your presence is very much important in the court of law, you have to go to the court and you have to justify your report. Very important here. So these are some of there are naturally, I can say that in general, we are going to handle with, we are going to, the process actually consists of 14 steps. Maybe some of the steps can be skipped depending upon the complexity of the crime. If the crime is very simple crime, it may not harmful to human being or maybe a society, or maybe it may not have any financial loss, then some of the steps can be ignored because you want to give a report quickly to the client because the client cannot wait for some more time, right? They need a report very quickly. So some of the steps can be skipped. We can prepare a report and submit to it, provided, if that particular report or maybe it may not doing a much damage to the people, much damage to the financial things or maybe a society, whatever it is. So in that case, you can skip some information, some of the steps. But if the crimes are very serious one, it may be damaging to the human being, it may be damaging to the society, it may be damaging to the financial, the health of the organization or maybe a government, then you must have to do with all those steps very carefully, very sincerely, and you have to come up with that. Very important. Okay. This is some of the key steps we normally going to follow in a forensic investigation. Okay. What is the time now, guys? Yeah. Maybe I'll take another 5 minutes. Is it okay if I continue for another 10 minutes? Is it fine? Organizers, please tell me yes or no. Am I continue for another 10 minutes? Please put a message in the chat box, please, or maybe you can just tell me. Am I continue for another 10 minutes, please? Anybody? All right, yeah, thank you. Now, let me touch upon the legal issues, a very important legal issues we talk about normally, financial frauds, drugs, and something related to embellishment, okay? Something related to harassment, and record keeping, child pornography is another very important one. This is where most of the crimes are happening. They are actually targeting the child. Almost 60% of the cyber crime happens normally to the child, right? So other legal issues we talk about. What actually you're going to face is the jurisdictional. Jurisdictional is one of the very important thing, because whenever the crime happened, you need to understand which jurisdiction crime is happened. Because, and also there is one of the problem you're going to face it in that particular jurisdiction. That may be a court of law, but they may not be equipped technically to deal with this particular case. What will you do for that? That is a major constraint, or maybe a legal issue, major issue you normally deals with. Okay, major issue normally deals with that. No problem. Yeah, normally deal with that. Okay, so that you need to remember. Jurisdiction, maybe something happened in the particular location, but the court which is there in the location, they may not be technically equipped, or they may not be technically competent. It can be a judges, or it can be a lawyers. They may not be they may not have dealt with these kind of a cases earlier. Then it is difficult to deal with this kind of a cases. What will you do for that? That is a major issue we are facing most of the time. Jurisdiction, okay? Because nowadays the judges and the lawyers, they may not be aware of all those technical related things here. Even if the report is generated by us as a cyber forensic and expert, you reported, but as a lawyer and the judges, they may not be in a position to understand those things, those words. So that is why jurisdiction plays a major role here. If not in that location, you need to transfer the case to some other location where they can able to deal with these kind of crimes here. Very important one. Then computer evidence presentation difficulties is another very important one, because how do you present it? Lawyers, the judges, even for the judges especially, they don't know the technical stuffs. If you present in a technical manner, they will not understand anything, right? So computer evidence presentation is another difficulty which normally facing it. Then requirement of originals. There are many times we may not have an original, so we might have image copies. Okay, how do you carry originals there? How do you present those originals? Because if you start presenting originals, that may be a problem with the security issue also. So if that is lost, then in whole case you cannot deal with that. Very important. So computer literacy in the legal sector, this is what I was talking about. Lawyers and the judges, most of the lawyers and judges, they are illiterate when it comes to computers. No, like I say, illiterate in the sense, they may be, they know how to, operate the computer. They can type the message, they can send the mail. These are all things everyone does. But when I talk about computer literacy, they're supposed to aware of the technical terms of the computers, right? Very important. If they don't know the technical terms, suppose if we say external hard disk, okay, in a hard disk, there are other terms. You have a track number, the sector number, everything will be having it, right? Suppose being a lawyer, judges, if they don't know what is the sector number, what is the track number, all those things, how will they deal with that? How will they can able to read the external hard disk content, right? So computer literacy is another problem with current scenario. Then we have confidential records, the business systems is another part of it. Telecommunication Act, which actually many times hinder us. Okay, Telecommunication Act. They have a lot of Telecommunication Act, right? Privacy of the particular person should not be disclosed to anybody. One of the policy in most of the countries we have it, right? Every individual person, whoever is using a mobile phone or maybe a cell phone, their privacy should be maintained, should not be leaked to anyone. Like this, you have many policies you have it. Because of these policies, it really sometimes become difficult to deal with legally. Okay, because sometimes you need to violate those laws. If you violate those laws, you are in a position to, in the sense, you may be in a dangerous position. Okay, that's very important. Then criminal prosecution versus civil trial, privacy issues, another one. Interpretation of Telecommunication Act is another one. Access and exchange of information. How do you, access and exchange of information in digital media? Other one, international cooperation in practice. This is very important actually. Like cybercrime, it can happen anywhere, right? Because it's a cyberspace. There is no specific location here. Somebody, anybody from any country, they can give, they are part of it. So you need to have a cooperation from other countries also, right? Authorities from the other countries also, you need to deal with those people. So cooperation from the authorities from other countries is another issue which normally deals with. Then revision of mutual assistance, technical issues, other issues, what you're going to do. Then court reporting skills as well as techniques also. Okay. How the court will, if I have a aware of these technical terms, the reporting, how they're supposed to report, then that's fine. Suppose many places, what happens, the judges, they will not be aware of it. So how will they give a verdict, right? How will they report their skills? Or maybe I can say techniques. This is very important here. That is the reason why most of the time we have, whereas something related to cyber crime, we have a special court. Special court, we have it. They normally deal with these, the crimes, cyber crimes. Okay. Let me stop it here. And can anybody having any questions? Please, you can put a message here, please. Rajeshwari, you're talking about some, you have some doubts. You can unmute yourself and you can talk also. No issue in that. Yeah, if anybody having any questions, please, you can.
Hello.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Shall I mention? Shall I ask it directly or type in chat box, sir?
Yeah, please. You can put it in the chat box. No issue. I'll clear it.
Okay, but it will take time for me to type. Can I say directly? Okay.
We can say directly also. No problem at all.
Okay, sir. Is any difference? Oh no. Is cyber forensics same with espionage?
Cyber forensic? Yeah.
Same with espionage. Because espionage also work under someone's command.
Yeah, can you just post it in the chat box, please?
Wait.
Because, yeah, please post it in the chat box. Because you said you differentiate the cyber forensic and?
Same with. Oh God, wait. Okay.
Cyber forensic same with the?
Espionage.
Yeah,
Because,
see, yes. Yeah, it's almost similar to this. See, what happens here, when you talk about cyber forensic, more on, we deal with the, as per the law. Got it? Because the main thing is, the main difference, what you can see here, we deal with the, as per the law. Because we are not diverting away from the law. Because whatever you mentioned here, exponential, whatever you mentioned, right? This may be carried out for the private people, or maybe it may not, you may not consider some of the aspect of the law. But when it comes to cyber forensic, whatever you're going to do completely as per the law. You should not divert even one point also. Because at the end of the day, you're going to submit your report to the court of law, right?
Yeah.
Court of law. So that can be one of the difference I can tell you in that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So espionage is not legal, but cyber forensic is legal.
I don't say it.
No?
I don't say it's not legal. It is illegal.
Okay.
But I can say while carrying out the process, maybe sometime, maybe you can divert. You understand my the answer is, right? Because cyber forensic always we stick to the law. We should not. One of an example I'll tell you. Before collecting an evidence or maybe before investigation, what you're supposed to do, we have to get a, the FIR should be filed. Whoever is victim is supposed to file an FIR. After filing an FIR in the police station, we have to get a, what is that? We have to get a, authorization letter from the respective government. Without that, we will not go further. If they say orally, we will not go further. Got it? We want a written communication. Should be in a it should be, if it is a mail, should be from the authorized mail IDs only. Right? One of an example. So it should be as per the law. So we cannot deviate anything. Even if the small things also we cannot deviate. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sir, you said that once system got attacked, we shouldn't shut down that entire system suddenly. But if we didn't do that, it means that the damage will be spreading widely. Then how is it, sir?
No, what I'm talking about, when the crime happened in the system, okay, in a real time. I'm being an investigation officer. Imagine I'm an investigation officer. I understood, yeah, this particular system in the background verification. We normally, before going to a scene, we do a lot of background verification we'll do. We have a lot of background work we are going to do it. Okay. Once you found that this particular system in this particular location, there is a crimes are happening in a real time. What do we do when you go to the system? The person who is doing a crime, right? You might be sitting there doing something. Okay. When if they feel like there is a suspicious happen, if the particular person may feel suspicious, yeah, this person may be from cybercrime branch or something like that. To erase the information, the real-time information, they may switch off suddenly. Got it? Or maybe they remove the plug suddenly. What happens? The temporary information which is going to be stored, that we are going to lose it. If you do like that. To understand. That is where I'm relating that.
So, sir, how about zero-click attack? Can it be analyzed? Zero-click attack. Zero-click attack.
Zero-click attack.
Can it be analyzed in cyber forensic? Because zero-click attack leaves digital print, sir.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. This zero. That can be.
Can be analyzed in cyber forensic.
Definitely can be analyzed. We have a different tools here. I'll tell you, Rajeshwari. We have, lots of modern tools are available.
But as I ever read that it leaves digital footprints, sir. So how can we identify?
I'll tell you, we have lots of tools are available because there are few things we cannot disclose it for your kind information because these are all,
is it possible?
Can be because we have a tool. Because we have a tool. See, because when it comes to, since it's something like a cyber crime investigation related one, few things we cannot reveal it. So I have a report. If you want, I'll just show the report because even in the report also, because very recently we carried out 303 pages of report in the particular government. Because if I show that report, even the government also displays, the name of the government. That's the reason why I'm just thinking, what do I supposed to do? Because that report, 303 pages report, you have submitted to the court of law, which from the beginning, from the FIR is filed from the victim till the, complete evidence, what we have collected, right? Evidence you have collected until the last, we have prepared the report. And still the investigation is on now. Still it is not resolved because, the government agencies, normally it takes time to resolve those things. Yeah.
Sir, you mentioned that nowadays attackers targeting children as their target. So what is the motive? What kind of advantage they can take from children? So children didn't have money and etc. Like
no. I'll tell you, there are many things they normally deal with in the children. I'll give you an example. Online, lot of online games are available. Online games.
Yeah.
There are a lot of very dangerous online games are available. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Being a children, they don't know the dangers of that particular game. One of an example I'll tell. Okay, one of an example. Dangerous to the dangers of that particular game. These children, they want to enjoy. In the mobile, they will keep on playing the games, right? And what happens? There is a cyber bull, we'll call it. Cyber bulls you talk about, there are many people together in the back end. They're trying to attack. There are many people in the back end that are trying to play with this particular child. Because this particular child may not be aware of it in the back end, whoever is there in the back end, right? Now we have the game which involved more than one person can play. Correct? More than one person can play, but that particular person will not be seeing it. Yes or no? Will not be seeing it. They're anonymous person. We don't know who that particular person is. He may be an attacker. He may be somebody he is threatening the child, or maybe he may be doing something wrong to the child. We don't know that actually. Because if you see it, we can know based on their behavior, we can able to understand this particular person may be doing a harmful to the children. But anonymous, will you able to understand in the back end, in the cyberspace? No. What they will do, especially for the children, they're trying to, for example, in the many, the teenagers, they are, stick to the Facebook, right? Facebook, they have to get a lot of, I guess they likes and everything, because they have to show to their friends, yeah, I posted this particular post today, I got this much of likes, right? They want to share with their friends, colleagues, and everyone. So these things, they are going to take an advantage of it. That's what they will do. If they want to get more likes, you can pay money to the Facebook, you'll get more likes. Yes or no?
Okay. Okay.
Got
I
it?
got it. Yeah.
You got it. So that is a back end, even for the Facebook and all the social medias. If you pay some money, you will get a lot of likes. Right?
They are trying manipulating the children.
Absolutely. They are trying to manipulating it. And these likes and everything, right? What they will do, they'll show to their friends. Yeah, I got this much of likes today. They want to, feel like, we are doing something good, something like that. So that is where and also one more is like, I've already put it, the child, the picture of the child, that will be there, they're utilizing it for some other purposes, all those things. Okay. Yeah.
I got it. Sir. So I have some more questions. May I?
Rajeshwari, will you do one thing? If you can, I'll give my mail ID.
Okay.
Is it okay? Will you send your questions to my mail ID? Definitely, I'll respond back to you. Is it okay? If you don't mind.
Okay, sir.
Because I have at 12 o'clock, I have one more talk today.
Okay.
It's 11:40.
It is fine. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think good. I think you are a lot of the things you are going through. I'm really happy for that.
Yeah,
good,
because I'm really interested about cybersecurity for a long.
Very good, very good, excellent. Yeah. You can become a cyber forensic
I
expert.
just started to learn Kali Linux actually, sir.
Very good, very nice. And this is a very good career for you. And you can become an independent consultant. You can, it's very good area. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. My mail ID, I'll just type it here. Okay. If anybody wants any questions, you can communicate to me. rbhegde@bbc.ac.in. Oh, wait. I'm just not typing here. Wait, wait. rbhegde@bbce.ac. Okay, this is my. I just post it here. Wait.
Okay.
Got it?
Got it.
My mail ID, did you got it?
Got it.
rbhegde@bbce.ac.in. Okay. bbce.ac.in. Yeah. Please. And if you have any questions, you can post to me. You can send me a mail. I'll reply back to you. Maybe it takes little time, but I'll reply back to you. Is it okay?
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Very good. So
thank you for the material. It is very excellent.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Anovita, I'm done. Thank you.
Okay. I think no more question.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
After the session for closing. Okay. Thank you for Dr. Ramasitna Hegde for sharing your knowledge with us. Further information will be beneficial for our audience, and I hope we can meet again in other event. Yeah, thank you.
And also, see, we have IEEE section here. Maybe if somebody wants to collaborate, definitely you can able to deal with the collaboration also, because I'm the secretary for IEEE Computer Society Bangalore chapter. I'm a secretary as well as executive committee member. If somebody wants interested in that to collaborate with that, is welcome. Okay, maybe you can talk to Gurraj sir. Maybe we'll definitely deal with that. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Inviting me as a guest lecturer, and I'm sure maybe the information might help you. Definitely will, sure it will help you. So if you want more information or maybe more technical content, technical stuffs, maybe we can have one more session and we can definitely do that. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Goodbye.